What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of Persona 5 The Phantom X. Now inside today's video guys, we're going to be going over both the characters Makoto Nijima as well of course Yusuke Kitsugawa, seeing that both of these characters are now coming back on the global scene. So we're going to go ahead and go over their kits, exactly their weapons should you pull them, and then overall is it wise to go for these characters. If you guys are interested in this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get straight into it. So when it does come down to the global end, of course, we have Futaba, who's currently going on, in which also, if you guys do not know, we do have a active giveaway that's happening currently that will be ending in a few days on the 17th here, so be sure to enter that. Should be a video on the channel that you guys will be able to look at. But both of these units have now recently came back onto the fray as a rerun here, which is quite often where we're going to have our Phantom Thieves all come back, and the same thing is going to happen with other characters in the future, even if they are OCs, as they slowly come back into the game. Now don't let this get you guys all confused here. These characters are amazing to get here, so we're going to be going over each of their kits, but I'm also going to give you guys a little bit of a warning, scene. There are a few other characters that will be coming down the line, so let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit here. So for some of you guys, y'all are very well informed on at least how the record of the characters are actually happening here, but for some of you guys you're not. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the first character being Yusuke Kitsugawa, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull up lefel.net on my screen here. So Yusuke Kitsugawa is one of the only DPSs that are ice inside of P5X right now in the global scene. This character can't really be replaced currently, so for a lot of people, not only are they pulling just because the character is really cool to them and they like the original cast, but they are also pulling to try and cover an ice spectrum when it does come down to the ice DPSs. Even for 4-star range here, our only ice DPS for 4 stars is actually coming down to Mont, who is a 4-star here, and even then she's not enough for most of the content that we do need to use for. So it would make sense for a lot of people to be going for Yusuke when they do feel a little bit of that pressure. One of the things that Yusuke is excelling at is going to be the counter damage side of things. So I mean, like, you are going to be getting a lot of damage, but where he really starts to get a little bit wobbly for most people who do not know is this DPS, unlike other DPSs, do scale off of his defense. So the more defense that you do have on him, the better he's going to end up performing, and that's usually how it's going to go. There's nothing else that really factors into this, of course, based on his crit damage and crit rate. That is, other than that, there really isn't much on him, so you're really just going to be using a ton of defense on the guy to really make him perform. But the problem with Yusuke is later down the line, not only is his just defense not enough, but the multipliers that he does have on his skills just physically isn't enough to keep up with the times here. Yusuke himself is a really cool character, interesting character to say the least here, and he is the only character built off defense that goes for DPS like this. But the only issue is his defense multipliers just aren't good enough for a lot of the content that you're going to end up coming around to, where we do see this with his skill 3 being Keen Eye, and then of course his skill 2. All of this is going to be based on his defense mechanism. So if he does have a lot of defense, he's going to deal way more damage. If he doesn't, he won't deal too much damage, and even then his multipliers just won't really back him up on this. This is kind of his downfall. Even when we do get more characters like in the future, such as of course getting characters like Cherish, who's going to be in the next update, it's just not going to be enough to really help him out. Cherish is going to briefly buff him on up, and it's going to make him nice, but after that update, it's pretty much the last time we ever will see use of Yusuke, unless you're doing some small guild bosses, which even in the guild boss section, you can start to skip him just a little bit and use other characters who most likely are going to deal more damage. It's only a downside for him, but all in all, if you just are a person who enjoy the character and you really want to have fun with him, here's some tips for you. The 5-star weapon is actually incredibly good, which is Shadow Killer, allowing you to get 45% extra increased defense, while also allowing you to increase your counterattack damage. This is always great because the more we of course counterattack, the more stacks that we're able to get, and even myself on global, I couldn't really deny this. That's one thing that I did say is Yusuke is one of my favorite characters, especially from P5 itself. So even for me, I decided to just dip in just a little bit to get the character myself, including his weapon. And was it worth it? Heck yeah, because the weapon looks freaking cool as crap. If you guys do want to get the most out of this character, getting his weapon is definitely a must. The 4-star weapon itself isn't all too bad. In fact, it does perform pretty okay, but do keep in mind, we're trying to go for the long run. His fights are usually going to last for a long bit, so just getting the small bit of a defense that we do get in the 2 stack is not going to help you out in the damage department. If you have the 5-star one, you are getting way more defense, and then the stacks are slowly going to keep on stacking up that damage that you need overall, seeing that he's going to be meant to draw out that damage marker. But if you're just playing for absolutely the best of the best, or at least longevity wise, you really won't need this character, or you really won't need the weapon at all, so you could very well skip. But that's just going to be going over him. As for the next character that I want to go ahead and talk about here, this is going to be Makoto Nijima. Now, Makoto Nijima herself is also another good character that I decided to invest in, both for her and her weapon. If you're going to use this character, you can very well use her 4-star weapon, but I would highly advise you to use the 5-star weapon. Main reasoning for this is because the damage increase with the 4-star and the 5-star is literally night and day. This character does rely a lot on elemental ailments, so the more of those that you do have, the more damage she's going to end up rocking, and even the gloves do allow you to deal way more damage to these foes that actually end up having the elemental elements here. In which element, I keep saying it freaking wrong. I gotta really look up that word to make sure I can say that dang right, because that's like the only thing I mispronounce so freaking badly on this game. But it also influenced her crash out status here, which is also amazing. One of the few things I do way too dang often. Whenever she's in this status, she is definitely getting a lot more damage out of the picture here, and her gloves are going to allow her to take a lot more of a advantage over this. So if you are going for her 5-star weapons are a must-have, unlike Yusuke's where you could divvy in between, but Yusuke's more for like, okay, longer battles, it makes sense to get it, while hers is like, you definitely want this for some high key damage. Now, a good part about her is you really don't need any dupes or anything with her. Just like Yusuke, you can use her at just A0, and that's kind of a good thing. Though if you want the most out of her, getting the A1 is pretty darn nice, just because you're able to, of course, get a little bit more damage that you want to crank out, which is always great to see here. Currently, I have the A1, and you guys can immediately see we're able to gain tenacity stacks off bat, allowing us to go into this form immediately, or go into it the next round pretty quickly. And then whenever we are in this crash out status, we are receiving 50% extra attack and damage by 35%, which is always freaking great to have. I think if you wanted to really invest into the character, you very well could. But the reason why I would say a lot of you guys to skip both of these characters isn't because I'm hating on them, because both of them are amazing characters, and heck, I summon on them as well. And this is me not really spending at all on my global. So I did a little dumb move just based off of popularity that I really like the characters and summoned anyways. You guys can also do the same thing because we play this for fun. But the reason why I tell a lot of you guys to skip is because for Yusuke himself, he just isn't really going to be used all too often. Even once we do cherish, you're just going to use him for like a patch, and then he will be gone forever. And this is not an understatement. We've buffed Yusuke, I think, about 3 times, including the 2 on TW. Yeah, he always just kind of lacks out right there. So you're not going to see a long parting time with him, or a long time with him actually being anywhere near most of the content. Even just for generality content, you would probably use like S closer or a different character. So even in that aspect, unfortunately, my man, is just not going to be worth pulling. As for Makoto, she's more in a different estate here. When it does come down to her, the only reason why I say don't pull for her is if you're already pulling for a Kazumi, the single target damager wise, Kazumi's going to absolutely stomp her. It's not even going to be a debate anymore. Kazumi is going to bring in a huge destructive number of single target damage that a lot of you guys are going to absolutely love to see. So if you're investing into Kazumi as a next single target character, it may not be wise, especially with the next few lineups of characters that are going to be coming on out. Although both of these reruns are freaking beautiful and they're always nice to have in the long time, I would say for a lot of you guys, please do yourself a favor. Don't go for these characters and skip. Now, if you're anything like me and you do want to dip in a little bit to get your characters, you are very much so welcome, but do understand, on the off chance that you're not able to get them, you will need to face that consequence. So it's always going to be a little bit of a back and forth with that one here. But that's really all I wanted to go over in this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and tune in for the next one. But for now, peace out, you guys, and have a nice day.